Poor guy. This is the first time I actually feel bad for the United States of America. Once again, look at my teeth. Okay, I guess I should maybe try to clean them. That's a little ridiculous. I don't think I need them to be that bad to remind me of cancer. This is where I actually feel bad for the first time for anything related to the United States. This poor man is actually a good man in the United States. And these dirtbag, antichrist, sickening United States piece of shits are riding his ass and making him be an asshole to everybody. When the fucking crimes, the goddamn problem, the fucking reality is that the United States antichrists did it, not him. So he's a good man in the United States. They're treating him like shit when he didn't do anything. When they're all the ones that were rape and murder of a dead God overloaded antichrist and more. And the poor guy is riding the hell out of Sun City saying you can't stalk her, you can't harass her. If you can't prove that she's dumping pee out of her car, you can't assume and convict her for it because there is no real evidence as to what was falling out of the cup. As we're talking, though, my stomach feels like a nightmare, and I think blood and something gross is falling out. I don't know whether to be grateful because the power of the blood, and I could put it in a bag to absorb the power and put it in the trash bin, or whether to be horrified and wonder if I need to use my powers to save myself. Oh, goodness. Well, that was scary. But this poor man has done nothing wrong and has to live in all the shit that somebody else has done. And the first thing I'm going to do is go find every god to spoil him because he didn't do it. So he shouldn't take the fucking shit of anything. And then the poor Sun City people are like, well, I mean, but everybody's bringing up that she's peeing. I mean, we don't know if she was peeing or not. You can't technically see everything or anything without looking illegally and inappropriately into her vehicle. So we're not going to admit that we have looked illegally or inappropriately into her vehicle. We're not ever going to say that part. But like somebody said she dumped pee outside because we're not going to admit to anything else. And so then, of course, we're going to get all upset. And the guy in the United States is like, I work in the United States. That's a United States public street. You can't address the issue. And then they were like, but somebody said she's going to pee on the street. So like, we feel like we have to address that. And the guy's like, you can't tell people what to do on a public street because she's killing our country over it. And it was like, the first thing I thought of was if a homeless person pees on a public street, nothing happens unless a cop busts them. But they're always busted for public nudity. So if the homeless person peed in a jar and then dumped it out, they would never be approached about anything. So yeah, actually that is picking on a dead god. So when it's taken to court by every god, it probably is getting a pretty serious answer. So I'll run to the gods and ask the gods to really kind of make this work out when it's just good people caught in a very antichrist nightmare situation. Because good people should not be subjected to what bad people are doing. And good people should not have to worry about what bad people are and are doing. So I'll have a bunch of gods make life a beautiful little unrealistic miracle for all the good boys and good girls. And if somebody in Sun City had raped my existence by being too gross inside of a car or something they have no right to be doing, then yeah, that might hit pretty hard. Also when the gods go to court. So yeah, I'd also remind you guys that you know right and wrong, and you know what is not legal, not permitted, and you should not be doing. That said, I'd agree with Sun City. If somebody tells you that somebody's peeing, then of course you're going to freak out. Everybody's going to freak out if they know somebody is peeing. Because, like, that just makes people freak out. Like, if you told a whole area that there's a whole shopping center. That homeless guy's going pee. Everyone's going to freak out about the homeless guy going pee. Now, would you be taken to court for abusing a homeless person and picking on a homeless person? Would that be called like bullying and joining among many people to pick on one thing? Well, yeah. So, I don't know how the court case would go on that, but yeah, you probably really shouldn't pick on one thing. But normally the homeless aren't picked on in mass quantity. Normally just one or two people notice that they're going pee and don't want them to and call the police. And then the police address it, but it's usually called like public nudity or something. So actually, I can't remember any time with my powers that some homeless person went pee in a jar quietly in secret and it was ever a legal reality. I have never seen that. So it looks like the only time legally you ever get in trouble is when like your nudity is a issue. So then probably when we get drunk, we have to ask the angels and the gods to take care of us. Because when you get drunk or something, that's when you don't think. And I guarantee I'm the worst one. When I drink, I think about dead kids and cancer kids. And man, it's bad. I get all busted up. It gets really bad. And, but you gotta ask gods or angels to help you to do it right. Because you don't want nobody to know nothing. Now, back when they did not know I was a dead god, back when I was not world famous dead god, overloaded, fixated, fuck you, blah, 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 on and on, then I could do a lot of things and nobody stalked or knew anything except the United States and Dubai and the people that had done this to me. Which, by the way, is busting the fuck out of my death. My death is busting up like fuck because I remember now and I remember now and I remember now. They had pumped me with more drugs and poisons than anything in existence. So according to gods, I had more drugs and poisons than any bear and anything. According to some gods, you could tranquilize a whole planet and more of everything in it and more with what they were feeding me in drugs and poisons because they knew I was a god and they knew I could come back to life all the time. So that would make sense because I was always my brain, my fake artificial shit was just never even there pretty much. And then I kept dying and dying and dying. So my spiritual self was all dead, liquidy, fucked up shit. That coincides with it all. But I'm only saying this because that guy is really freaking out about how the United States is going to pay for what they've done and die. And sadly, the United States is going to start dying for all of it, all the way through. And every time my death keeps giving out like an ocean and more, they have to die for all of it. Unlimited per spec of all of it. That becomes a lot of unlimited death piled on unlimited death piled on unlimited death. Very unsurvivable forever stuff. Now, that said, if you're the good United States that never supported this being done to me, if you're the good United States that never had anything to do with this being done to me, like I said, you guys can just go to the island of gods, work with gods above Colorado, help the good people of the country get out, or help the end of the world with the good people of the country, and never give a shit about the 666. But sadly, the Antichrist overload is flooded throughout the United States. And you know what's really sad? for all of you children of God, you might want to think or say, my queen, my queen, my queen, and pray and pray and pray for these poor good people in the United States. The good people in the United States are drowning in suffering and drowning in horrifying, unthinkable suffering and drowning in terror and fear because the country is dying like it's nothing. The Antichrist people that did this are just laughing and they're gross because they know they're dead forever anyway. And the good people are really having quite a time. If the children of God could pray, it would be helpful. I have to let whatever gas or blood kind of come out. I'm scared out of my mind. I can tell the United States has technology and they're trying to rupture and explode my stomach area and my intestines. I'm constantly slaughtering the evil God enemies they worked with right now. I'm doing everything and anything in my powers to stop them from rupturing and exploding my fake, false inside things. And I'm having a bad time with it. But I knew that I'd have to kill them until they can't exist to do this to me anymore, or they just keep doing it. So I understand what day it is, but it's a very painful, horrifying day. I also realize that the Antichrist United States gave them the idea of power of the blood inside of the dumpster for Sun City's advice because they knew what they were going to do to me. And they're sitting out there laughing their fuck you to God faces off. That they're helping exacerbate blood coming out of me. Because they have to die forever because they did it. Well, whatever, United States, you chicken shit fucks. You wouldn't shoot at me face to face. You wouldn't bomb me face to face. And your big tactic is chicken shit inside of my fake existence to try to explode me from the inside. What a loser pack. You know what? As I do everything ever known to your souls from the inside, paybacks are heartless. And I already knew I'd have to kill you guys until you could never do anything to me again. It was obvious a long time ago. So, gods, you guys heard me? They're saying yeah. Angels, you guys heard me? They're saying yeah. All right, children of God. My queen, my queen, my queen. We're going to have a lot of big meetings. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to join in the love and support of good people everywhere to get through this. Until next time.